Peace and blessings, y'all. So what's happening? You already know who this is, man. It's brother GJ with this right wing neo Afrocentrism. I am the right wing neo Afrocentrist. And tonight, man, we're gonna talk about some politics, man. We're gonna talk about some real political business. You did what I'm saying. Um and what best place to talk about it than in my home state of Mississippi? As you all know, who stay abreast of the political shenanigans, the Republicans in per the results of the November the 5th elections. The Republicans, man, they showed up and showed out. You did what I'm saying. They won the governorship and they won seven statewide offices. Seven statewide offices. Like certain public services commissions. They got the attorney general, state treasurer, senate, state senator, secretary of state. They won offices like that. They won those positions. And basically, what I want to get into, what does this sweeping Republican victory means for so-called blacks, African Americans? A lot of you guys are using the term ADOS as American Descendant of Slavery. Some of y'all use the term FBA, Foundational Black Americans. Me personally, I identify as a New African. But, I'm not here to get into, any chaos concerning, identities. But all of us, that's why I just use the blanket term black. Most of us cannot, are cool with that term. So what does this Republican victory means for blacks? Now, mind you, I'm not one of those Negroes who's so drunk with anti-Republican hate on the, F Trump bandwagon. One of those people who hate Trump so much that I don't say Trump, I say 45 or Agent Orange. You know what I'm saying? No, now don't get it twisted now. I am African centered. And like I just said, I'm a New African. So of course I look at these people as ops, as opposition, as enemies. You did what I'm saying? But at the same time, my position is not rooted in hyper emotionalism. It's rooted in historical fact. And also I know in the complexities of the reality of this society that we live in, I know that these people are the gatekeepers of certain resources that we may need. And I understand this. We have to deal with people on a diplomatic level. You did what I'm saying. I understand that. But you see, a lot of blacks are becoming more politically conscious, even about voting. A lot of people choosing not to vote. A lot of people, going even harder on pushing the voting situation. You got a lot of talk about reparations and tangibles and stuff like that. But one thing we got to understand, we have to understand the reality, especially when we look at things on a state-to-state level of the places that we live in, and how does it affect certain demands that we have and what we're looking for. You see, I stay in Mississippi, and in many southern states, that's why I tell black people who try to push this, jumping back to the Republican side of things and rocking with the Republicans, that's not really a realistic solution, because in places like Mississippi, the party situation is split on seemingly racial lines. Like, it's very polarized. Matter of fact, one in Mississippi, one of the slick racial slur that a lot of white folks use for blacks down here is Democrat. They just call you Democrat. You did what I'm saying? It's an inside joke where, white person goes somewhere and there's a lot of black people. They say, God damn, it's a lot of Democrats in this joint. You did what I'm saying? It's very, because you got to understand, during the civil rights movement, when you had the Dixie crack, you did what I'm saying situation, where you had a lot of Southern Democrats separate from the Democratic Party due to the civil rights issues and the Voting Act and all that kind of stuff, you know. And then when you had Ronald Reagan come in the late 70s and 80s with their Republicans with the Republican strategy, with the Southern strategy, a lot of the racist Democrats, Southern Democrats, took over, the Republican Party. They moved to the Republican Party and changed up. And that's what people don't understand. Like you have, a lot of Republicans like this stupid broad Candace Owens, amongst others. They like to bring up the narrative of how the Democrats started the Klan and all that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, the Democrats have, for most of its history, has been the most vehement enemy of blacks. But you gotta understand, man, politics is very unstable. You did what I'm saying? Very unstable. You did what I'm saying? Very shifty. Every 50 to 100 years, these party changes, their positions changes, their platform changes. Not to mention, at the root of it, let's just be real, they all run by the same people. A lot of these people who you think hate Trump and who you think if they were in the room with Trump, they would beat him to death. Man, these jokers having sex orgies and pedophile rings and swinger parties and all that type of shit behind closed doors. They all about the same thing. You did what I'm saying? They all controlled by the same shadow government. But I don't want to get too spooky and get too conspiratorial. But that's why I tell Negroes, man, you can't really try to use that to shame black people into not messing with Democrats. Because really, the Republicans in the South, they don't need black people. What they've done, they've gerrymandered and redistrict so many times to where, they can guarantee, unless a major population shift takes place, they can guarantee that they will win certain districts for many years to come. You see, they already knew what was up. They knew what was coming once the voting rights of blacks started being protected by the federal government in the 60s. They knew that they had a problem in their hands. So they sacrificed certain districts, like in Mississippi. They knew that, the Delta, Hines County, most of Northwest Mississippi, you did Northwest Mississippi, those are, Western Mississippi is, most of the counties are predominantly black. So they knew that they were going to lose a large portion of that. So they say, okay, we'll give the niggers, this, that, and, we'll let them have these seats in the state legislature, in Congress, in the House, but we got all this. You see, they know what's up, man. You see, they already had this shit planned. That's why, even though I have, even though I don't consider myself ADOS or FBA or anything like that or part of those movements, but one thing that you brothers and sisters who are in those movements had to understand, particularly you brothers, because like I say, this is all about, I'm pushing black patriarchy, and black patriarchy does factor in this video. I'm getting to it. What you have to understand is, if the government start passing this, getting serious about reparations and stuff like that, what they gonna do, they gonna be slick. They gonna sink it. They gonna set it up and sink it, just like they did that affirmative action bullshit. They gonna make sure that the state, that this shit falls on the state. And if you live in southern states where reparations really gon' be beneficial because that's where the majority of African Americans are, you're gonna be fucked. Unless you know how to, get, unless you power up and get control of some of these state offices, because I'm telling you, man, these white southerners ain't going. You see, if y'all ain't willing to kill for and die for this reparation shit, or whatever y'all screaming, you see what I'm saying? And y'all think y'all could dance with American flags and kind of finesse y'all way into this shit? You really not. You really not. These Republicans, man, y'all don't realize. Y'all think all it's a bunch of dumbass cousin fucking rednecks. Nah, man, these motherfuckers got some finesse, man, and they been planning this shit. That's why a lot of these predominantly black southern cities, they knew that these cities was gonna be bankrupt. So what they did, once they saw the cities becoming more blacker and blacker in the 70s, they started building up all these little hoe ass suburbs. Around Jackson, around Birmingham, around New Orleans, around Baton Rouge, around Shreveport, around Montgomery, around Mobile, around Memphis. You did what I'm saying? They knew what was coming, and they prepared for it. And then that's on some military strategy shit too, where they have us surrounded. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, this shit been in play. So y'all should really pay attention. Don't be sleep. I know y'all saying, oh man, all this shit is just a set up, fuck voting fuck all this. Look, man, that's why even though I have my grievances with voting, I never say fuck voting. Because really in Mississippi, when you live in a state like Mississippi, you almost just really have to vote on some short term, I don't even want to call it a solution, but on some short term relief type shit, you almost just have to vote, because the thing is, you want to have a say-so on something. Don't get me wrong, the Democrats, the Southern Democrats, they're owned by a bunch of white liberals and white hippies who are just as racist as the conservative rednecks and the good old boys and all that. But you see, they understand they're capitalistic. They understand that, if they want to enjoy the luxuries and the sophistication of northern and western cities like New York, LA, and all that kind of stuff, they understand that they can't just be blatantly racist. You know what I'm saying? These jokers, they want to live a life of sophistication and luxury. This is where all your gentrifiers come from. You know what I'm saying? They understand that. And you see, they understand to get there, they gotta make blacks feel a little comfortable, so you can get a little crumbs from them. These Republicans, they don't give a fuck about black people. They don't need black people for shit down here. They got all these this mass incarceration going on. They got these laws set up. They got the redistricting shit, the gerrymandering shit set up. And then mind you, they put your poll, they got the voter ID bullshit. And you did what I'm saying. They got they put your polling stations where you go vote. They had them bitches, far out, and sometimes they be in such far out places. You go to vote, you gotta drive so far out, and then you have these racist ass sheriffs and shit waiting for you to give your ass a ticket. You did what I'm saying? So they fucking you over on that. You going to vote and you end up catching a ticket. I'm telling y'all, man, this shit is really insidious. And that's why black patriarchy, black men, because that's the main reason why these motherfuckers are winning, because they have a patriarchal mindset. Black men need to get a patriarchal mindset and start building motherfucking political machines. You did what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say his name because my views, I want motherfuckers detractors to use my views to derail any future success of his. But I knew a good brother, not personally know him, but I seen him in the community and stuff, who was on that ballot. Good brother who was on the Mississippi election ballot. We get behind brothers like him and other good brothers, and we put our weight behind them. You dig what I'm saying? And we make them do our bidding. Don't say fuck voting. Don't say fuck voting. Get your and just worry about economics, because the thing is, economics can be inhibited by certain policies and laws. So if you ain't got the right lawmakers on your team, if you ain't got the right blacks in the state legislature on your team, you can be fucked. So when you see brothers and even sisters, if need be, who are running on the ticket, man, we gotta vote for them. You did. We gotta vote for them. You know what I'm saying? We gotta vote for them. Because when you live in places like Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, the Republicans don't need black people for shit. Any black people who willing to buck dance and go slide with them, hey, they'll use you as a puppet, and you did what I'm saying, and throw you some pork skins or something like that. You do a little jig for them. They'll do that, you know what I'm saying? But they don't need black people for shit. They don't give a fuck about cities like Jackson or Birmingham. They can blow up. All they want to do for like cities like Jackson and Birmingham, whatever especially like Jackson, because it's a state capital, they just want to carve out a safe zone where they can come and handle their political business. And if they want to go get, if they want to go get some black vagina while they in town, be able to do that without having to worry about Taquan and TT robbing their ass. That's all they care about for Jackson. You know what I'm saying? You did. So, we gotta take this shit seriously. All this hashtag shit ain't gonna mean a bitch ass thing until we really organize. And we need to identify candidates who gonna push our agenda. You did. That's what Chuck, rest in peace to Big Chuckway Lumumba. That's what he was pushing. And he had a plan, man. He had a plan. I really believe they killed Bob Chuckway. I believe they really killed him. Shout out to his son, Chuckway Antar, but his father was a militant. He was a bull. Fuck a bulldog. He was a lion on their asses. So we really, I'm telling y'all, man, don't be sleeping on this shit. I know the politics seem like a damn theatrical show. It seems like a lot of bullshit, but pay attention. Especially in these cities. Your city can only grow as far as your state gonna let you. That's why, yeah, you can blame black misleadership for a lot of shit. Don't get me wrong, black misleadership does have a big share of responsibility, which, like I say, goes back to a lack of black patriarchal values in our community and amongst our men. But when you see cities like Jackson, Detroit, New Orleans, you dig what I'm saying? When you see that bullshit that you see in those cities, it's because the state stars them. The state stars them. That's why, say what you want to about Atlanta, but them brothers out there knew what was up a long time ago. And Atlanta is such a big money maker that them crackers in Georgia, they can't, they can't. Now they robbing Atlanta too now. That's why they building up Metro Atlanta, so the little suburbs around Atlanta. But the black money is so strong in Atlanta that they realized they couldn't just be on no bullshit with Atlanta. They had to give Atlanta some set asides. You did what I'm saying, because it's keeping Georgia well taken care of. But they trying to sabotage that too. They definitely trying to sabotage that. Cause but back to Mississippi, you see this motherfucker you see right here. This goofy looking son of a bitch. This is Tate Reeves. That's the new governor of Mississippi. And Tate Reeves already say he ain't give motherfuckers shit. He ain't expecting no health care or nothing. You did what I'm saying? And when you talking about reparations, if this guy ain't talking about taking government money for health care, You know, you already know reparations. He gonna be a staunch opponent of reparations. And these are the people who hold the keys to a lot of the states that we live in. So you screaming ADLS, intangibles, and reparations, you got motherfuckers like this you're gonna have to deal with. And hashtagging and holding conventions ain't gonna mean nothing unless you really organize on the ground and put certain people in place to push your agenda. You did what I'm saying? And we can start with the people we working with. You know what I'm saying? With the people we have now. I know we call it the Congressional Black Caucus and stuff like that. But right now, those people are in the door. And we need to start applying pressure to them. And all these elected black officials we have now on every level. I'm talking about all the way down to your alderman. You know what I'm saying? From the bottom up, man. We need to start pushing this agenda and pushing pressure on them. You did what I'm saying? We need some people who ain't scared. We need some, you see, we need to start putting our money together cause we can't depend on the states, because the states ain't giving Negroes nothing. These state governments like Mississippi ain't giving Negroes a bitch ass thing. You know. And the Democrats, they, you know, they in the South, they need blacks. Blacks are their saving grace. But they got, like you see, the Mississippi governor election was so close, right? They have so many whites, especially whites who are coming from up north and moving here, and coming from out west and moving down here. They have a growing, you know, white liberal hippie population to replace some of these black voters. And not to mention the Hispanics. That's why they going so hard trying to get the Hispanics on their team. Matter of fact, this Negro congressman, Benny Thompson. And Benny Thompson has done a lot for black people. He might not have done enough, but he's done a lot. A lot of black people want to be successful today in Mississippi who work for Benny Thompson. And Benny Thompson does have a certain level of respect from the whites here. But Benny Thompson, goddammit, he want to hold hearings on fucking ICE and them right in that factory instead of really organizing his people. Because he's a opponent of the Democrat Party now. I'm gonna hate to say it. You know, I grew up around Benny Thompson, but he's a opponent of the Democrats. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to get all these Hispanics on their team, because the Hispanics are the fastest growing group, not just in the South, but definitely in the South. They are storming Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. They are storming those places. And they see them as new potential voters. So the Democrats trying to get them on their team and knock these Republicans out. And who gonna be left out with their dick in the cold still starving? Blacks. So, you know what I'm saying? Even though I don't believe blacks should be fucking with the Democrats or Republicans, but since we do, believe it or not, we have some leverage with the Democratic Party. You did what I'm saying? But it has to be some real action to put pressure on them. You did what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because the Republicans, man, they got such a strong block. It's weakening a little bit, but nowhere near as fast enough as it is to make any major change. You dig? But like I say, man, it all goes back to having a patriarchal culture. Because if we had a patriarchal culture, the politicians who we put in office will be fucking bulldogs. They'll be about taking shit. Not just trying to be corrupt politicians and get more pussy and get more clout. Nah, they be about really taking shit over and putting their people in positions so we can be prosperous. That's patriarchal thinking. That's why I push that on this channel so fucking much. That's why I push it so much. You know, that's why I push it so much. And that's why these slick ass Democrats, they going so hard talking about black women voters and trying to get black women voters, because they know for the most part black women voters, they gonna just stay with they gonna just stay with the status quo. All you gotta do is just say Republican and Trump, you know, where we against Republicans and Trump, and they on your team. Well, child, we don't need the Republicans and we don't need the Trump in there. They ain't gonna do nothing for us. And you got that, you got their vote. True enough, the Republicans ain't gonna do shit for blacks and blacks because they don't need blacks, especially down south. But at the same time, you gotta lavish your shit with the Democrats. You know what you gonna do for our municipalities besides take our vote? That Republican boogeyman, yes, it is, but that shit ain't enough to fucking scare us just voting for you and not have any demands of you. And these old pastors, these old Christian ass Negroes, I'm telling you, we gotta put the fire to them. We gotta put the heat into them. If you want to, motherfucker, if you want to stay in this same position for 30 years, 30, 40, 50 years, you gotta start doing this, that, and the third. And we gotta call them out on it. And we gotta put people. You did what I'm saying. I'm saying that's what ADOS need to do, and maybe they thinking about that. You know, New Africans, we've been on there, but of course nobody, since blacks don't want to identify with Africa, we can't never get the support. You did what I'm saying. So when all you motherfuckers talking about New Africans ain't done this, ain't done that, we been doing this. But motherfuckers so scared to identify with their heritage, a heritage that's recognized by the fucking United Nations, Afro-descended people, because they don't want to be associated with that, and they think that hurts them politically. That's why we ain't got shit. You boule, bougie, and ghetto-minded ass Negroes who hate Africa, who don't want to identify with Africa because of what you think these white folks gonna feel about you. You the reason why we ain't got shit. So don't be claiming ADOS and FBA and talking shit about the Republic of New Africa and New Africans again and what we ain't done when you motherfuckers ain't one down from the first place. Even when we put In Cobra together, when the elders and the ancestors put the In Cobra demonstration together for, you know, mainstream black people, y'all wasn't down with it. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. We can learn from this situation. And y'all like, share, and subscribe. And you know what I'm saying, let me know how you feel, man. We gotta organize and mobilize against this thing, because this Republican victory in Mississippi, shit gonna get a lot tougher for blacks, man. For real. You think it's bad in places like Jackson and Delta and predominantly black areas in Mississippi. It's gonna get worse, man. It's gonna get really worse. You know, and don't get too happy about that one brother running transportation commissioner, because they got all the main office. You see these motherfuckers play chess, man. They'll sacrifice certain offices and certain positions just so they can get the big positions. They know what they're doing, man. These motherfuckers ain't a bunch of dumb cousins to tobacco chewing moonshine drinkers. They got some finesse to them, bro. For real, for real. But yeah, man, this brother GJ, the right-wing neo-Afrocentrist, and like I say, you know, right-wing neo-Afrocentrist, it's not just a cultural ideology, it's political ideology. Just like black patriarchy is not just about changing the culture, it's about politics and economics as well. So we're going to be covering more topics like this. I'm going to be dropping it to y'all, and y'all just, you know, stay tuned. Peace out.